Got the lucky silver cat here. So, yeah, I want to talk about this silver a little bit more. Common sense. First off, it's not a shitty investment. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. It is going up a lot more. Now, is it going to pull back to 22 or whatever the hell? I don't know. I mean, really, nobody does know that. And if they know it, hey, they ain't going to tell you on a YouTube, that's for sure. But, you know, to quite honest, I don't listen to freaking any of the channels on YouTube, pretty much, for silver. I'll listen to Mark Farber, said Jim Rogers, try to read between the lines. You know, I'll just pick up some stuff off the internet here and there, but usually it's like off the general news as to what's affecting the markets in general. Why is there a pullback? Why are people scared? Why are people fearful? Why are people more confident? And I did just listen to most of Raw Dog's recent video about, you know, the silver tards and all this type of stuff. You know, I don't actually listen to those guys like Bill Murphy and stuff. I did originally. You know, I bought into it for a few minutes, at least some months. You know, I know, like, what the hell is this guy saying, right? But being in the financial and accounting world, in the business world a little bit, man, it's scam beyond scam beyond scam. Basically, that's how it works. You know, it's shrewdness. Actually, business is mostly shrewdness. It's not actually mostly statistics. It's mostly shrewdness. You know, of course, you're supposed to buy low and sell high, but how the hell do you do that? Quite obviously, that's the big question. You know, is silver going to go to 22? I don't think so. That's the whole thing. Are you going to wait forever and then miss the boat? That's the other thing too. So, you know, but what does surprise me is, well, that doesn't surprise me, because actually I realized a lot of the people like the Sprott brothers, Turk, Brother John F., Chris Duane, you know, the whole lot of them actually pushing all this type of stuff. I think silver is an excellent investment, obviously, but they have a lot of exaggerations, and they're a good barometer as to when you should sell. Because when they really get fever pitched, you should probably dump some and wait for a pullback. Probably they're a good indication is doing the opposite. Where I think silver's going to go in eventually it's going to hit hundreds of dollars an ounce, probably 2017, 2018, around that time. I think it looks like it's every 3 years is a wave pattern. Some of that stuff seems to play out sometimes when you're looking at some of the general technical patterns, without getting too technical about it. But we might see $100 plus silver in 2014. We might see it get really high this time and then pull back too. You know, I have a lot more faith in the Fibonacci that Endless Mountain talks about. That seems to obey the laws of nature. It seems like you just can't go against the laws of nature no matter what. You know, the markets follow the laws of nature. So the next fib point is like 72, 75, but I'd be selling at 60 in steps after that point. That's what I'd be doing. But waiting for a pullback and see if it goes below 50. But I think where that's going to, what event may move that up is the war with Iran. I've been talking about this for like a year, but I don't know when that war is going to occur. But it almost did occur in late spring of 2012. So it could happen again here. That could bring us a big spike in oil prices and gold prices and silver prices. I'm not going to be afraid to sell at that time. But you know, Raw Dog actually brought out something else in a video which counteracts what he said in a way, because if you look at silver, it was like $4 or $5 an ounce like 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago. It's actually outpaced the inflation. You know, it's like $30 an ounce now, so it went up, you know, 5-6 times, no problem, right? More than 6 times actually. So that tells you if that trend continues, the whole silver. But you know, if you're looking back all during that time, it's had a lot of flat moments too. So we're in a flat moment. It's just you're gonna have to wait it out. That's why I say you don't go 100% into one investment. I don't like those jerks that freaking pump silver left and right, but I think it is a smart investment. You're actually going to find it go up quite a bit, and you're going to make out a lot in value, and you'll be able to trade your silver for some other capital asset that helps you produce money. So, but I don't want to harp on this subject too much. I usually like putting some of the the women out there, because it's a boring subject. I'll put something, just make it a little more entertaining. It's a boring subject, man. We're waiting for we're waiting for grass to grow. It's a boring subject. So, but I want people to stick with it, because you're going to have to wait for this time. It's not going to go like this, straight, steady line. It's going to go like this. And then it's going to, and at the end, we might have a spike here. What I'm assuming is going to be a spike to about 70, 72. Then maybe a pullback below 50. Then a spike over 100. Then maybe another pullback before we get this really crazy spike into the hundreds. But that's going to take some years. I'm thinking over 100 is going to happen in like 2014. Even this year, it's probably going to fake us out. Because you know how the market sentiment is? Everybody's like down on silver now. Yeah, well, just be patient. I really don't like a lot of the guys that like, SGT Bull and Chris Duane and Brother John F. I don't like a lot of those jerks, man. But I realize the only way they're in business pumping this bullshit is because they got a bunch of people listening to them. But just be patient with it. And don't be afraid to sell, as one of my viewers pointed out, to sell on the rips. Buying the dips, sell on the rips, right? And you can tell what a rip is. I mean, if it goes up double, you're going to hear all these silver pumpers out there saying, oh, the sky is falling, the banksters are caving in, oh, you're going to lose all your money if you don't have it in physical silver. That's when you want to sell some. The dollar, one thing I'm picking up is the dollar is not going to go away exactly because of the oil powers. In other words, they're pumping so much oil out of the earth in the United States. That's basically what's backing up the dollar. Well, the one way I'd really like to screw up the dollar and their power is to grow industrial hemp. Damn if we can ever get that movement going, because that would basically make the crude oil products demand be greatly diminished. And we'd have a dollar based upon industrial hemp. So how's that? Grow your own money. You have your own money mine growing hemp. But that would actually be the solution that would save the middle class. Not so much the coins. But stick with the coins. It's not a stupid idea. Don't worry. I don't know if it's going to go all the way down to 22. I don't think it is. But when you're buying and selling silver, you're buying it above spot and you're selling it at spot or below spot. So you're better off using electronic accounts if you're going to buy and sell like that. If you have coins, hold them. Hold them. It's not time to sell. You should be waiting until at least over $50 an ounce before you start unloading any coins. And I wouldn't even unload too many at that point, because unless it goes up so fast that it can't sustain that type of gain. Like if it went from $30 now, I'm about to say this summer it's $60. Maybe you should sell a good 20% of what you have at least, even if it's physical, because it's probably not going to sustain that type of gain that fast. But then again, it could. It could. You never know. But that's why I say I wouldn't sell too much of it. But, Raw Dog makes good points. But he also counteracts his own argument by saying, we'll look at what happened with silver. It went from $4 or $5 an ounce to $30 and went way above the cost of inflation. And that trend is actually going to continue. And that's why you should hold it. You're playing a guessing game buying and selling physical. Now, of course, if you can buy at spot and sell above spot, I'd be doing that all day. I really would. I really would. I mean, then you got another business going there. Then you're a bullion dealer or something like that. But the thing is, a normal person's going to buy above spot and sell, if they're lucky, at spot, usually below spot. So, if it goes down a couple of dollars and you bought it, how the hell would you even bother with that kind of transaction? Even if you sold it, the spread is such a big difference between buying and selling that, it has to go down a lot before you'd be able to buy it back cheaper. So I don't know if it's going to go down that much. There's a lot of people buying physical silver. So, that's why I kept saying don't get too damn lopsided on stuff. Not 100% into silver. It's not smart. But it is a very smart investment. And most people, well, everybody who actually has, sells people annuities, insurance annuities, and financial investments, they're not going to tell people to buy silver because they ain't going to get, unless they tell them to buy it in their account like Sprott does or something. But they're not going to tell them to buy coins unless they're a bullion dealer. So most financial people, purely financial people, will never tell you to buy physical coins too much. They might say do 10% max, if anything. You probably should do a lot more than 10%. So, but yeah, I would like to see a lot of the silver pumpers washed out. But I suspect highly, like somebody like Brother John F. He's connected with somehow, or maybe I don't think he's that stupid to tell you the truth. With people are just pumping silver. The large channels are getting pushed by the other people have invested interest in pumping bullion and silver. And when the fever pitch gets very hot on the large channels, that's when you maybe should start to sell a little bit of bullion, actually. Maybe, if you see a really high gain. Those people that are on the large channels on silver are actually using the middle class. And I think they're going to be the ones causing the middle class to be holding the bag some years from now when silver maybe becomes hundreds of dollars an ounce. So they're not out to save the middle class, they're out to screw the middle class all the way. That's my opinion on those guys. So when Rod Dog calls them out, I agree with that type of stuff. But then again, silver is a hold. Keep the asset. I would not speculate at this price to try to sell and see if it dips below down to 22. Now, if it gets over 50, then you can speculate. If it went over 50 really fast and all of a sudden it broke a new high, I would speculate on selling stuff and wait for a pullback. But as low as it is now, I don't know if you're going to have such a hard pullback, and I wouldn't be playing that game. Like, you got the coins for a longer term hold. Electronic account, that might be different. But even then, I'm not 100% sure about it. The news can change the markets like that. Silver can spring up on other news next week just as fast as it went down, and then you wouldn't know. So, but the one place I wouldn't want it, but I'm going to say this too, even Mark Farber, if you pay attention to his words, he thinks the Dow is going to go down and have a hard correction, right? The general markets, the S&P in the United States, but he's afraid to short the market. He said that because there's been so much money printing. So would you short silver right now? I mean, I wish I did last week when it went down, but right now I wouldn't want to. He's afraid to actually short Mark Farber is actually afraid to short the S&P because there's been so much money printing, and he keeps accumulating more gold. So what does that tell you, right? I do know the silver bloggers are bullshit, and they're probably all in cahoots with Sprott, which I think is that guy's bad news. James Tark, bad news. Max Kaiser, bad news. But still hold on to your coins. They're going to go up a lot more in value. But like I said, if you get a double, you should sell at least 10-20% of them, for crying out loud. I mean, really. Even the coins, because if it goes up that fast, it's probably going to have a pullback. But kind of guessing a pullback now from like where it is now, 28, 29. I don't know. It's really stupid in my mind to be selling silver at these prices.